Hey guys, welcome to episode 83 of the Project Joyful podcast. Hey, so today I'm sharing the hidden cost of ignoring how we're really feeling and an antidote to the stress and struggles of recent years. It's based on a conversation I had with a patient. Think of this episode as a lullaby for your soul. Let's get started, shall we? Well, hello, beautiful people, and welcome to the Project Joyful podcast. I'm your host, Tracy Tutty, your medical herbalist and high performance coach. So, hey, Project Joyful isn't just about being happy. It's about consciously creating a life you love. It's about remembering how to reconnect with your soul-centered joy. You know, that joy that comes from doing what you love, from living on purpose, and from being in a life that allows you to experience deep joy moment by moment. So hey, let's get started, shall we? This is a story based on a conversation I had with a patient of mine a while ago. She walked into my clinic room and she burst into tears. All I asked was, "How are you doing today?" Nobody had asked her that in a while and she hadn't offered it. Instead, she put her head down and pushed through, getting things done, losing herself in the process. She thought she was okay. That is, until somebody thought to ask her. Juggling the balls, doing the things, smile glued firmly in place. But here's the thing. When you come through a tough period in your life, and yes, 2022 was tough for a lot of people, and that tough period has been going on for quite some time, you adapt. In response to that adaptation, what was tough becomes the new normal. You don't feel stressed, maybe just a little bit tired, but isn't everyone these days? Because you carry on, but just because you've stopped registering the heavy toll, it doesn't mean that the heavy toll has gone away. You're simply no longer alarmed by it. So you carry on. You're doing the things, juggling the balls. You already feel like you can't continue. You're dreading work, but you're showing up anyway, until one day you can't. Somebody who you don't need to be strong for asks you how you're doing. Your mind seizes that opportunity to remind you that actually you're not doing great. You might find yourself with tears rolling down your cheeks while you're waiting in line to pay for something or on the train. You might wake up one morning and you simply don't have the energy to get out of bed, to shower, to wash your hair. How'd you get here? We live in a world where it's accepted that you'll push through. We had a brief respite when momentarily it was okay to stay at home because you were sick, but this too seems to be on the wane. The antidote is connection, and that begins with connection with yourself. If you gave yourself the gift of doing nothing, but sitting in your chair for half an hour, how would you feel? Lazy? That's how my patient responded. She said, "I feel like I wasn't doing anything." Now, we're blessed with at least 3 nervous systems. Now, we all know about our sympathetic nervous system. It's the alarm bell. It's the fight or flight. And generally, it tends to want more than its fair share of time in the driving seat of your life. There's also the enteric nervous system, and some say that this one is the seat of wisdom, if you're willing to trust your gut, that is. It also plays a key role in supporting our immune system, along with our parasympathetic nervous system. The healing one, that's the parasympathetic nervous system. It's responsible for resting and digesting. So when you sit still, or you sit in silence, for at least 30 minutes. You give your parasympathetic nervous system a chance to do some quick housekeeping. It's also an opportunity to check in on those gut instincts. What if, instead of wrapping relaxation around the to-do list, we made it our first and foremost in our lives? What if we gifted ourselves just 30 minutes each day to check in with how we're really feeling?
How am I feeling? What's my interpretation about what that feeling means? If it's a feeling I'm keen to now move on from, what needs to happen in my life? Noticing how you're really feeling, noticing what you're making that mean, and if needed, deciding on a new course of action in order to change that feeling, well, that's your first step to proactive recovery. The next step is to gather your social circle. Who lights you up? Who brings you down? Once you see, you can't unsee it. Now you're in the realm of choosing. Choosing who you'll spend time with. Who's the person you can whisper to when you're not doing so well? What can you do to support them and lift them up? It's like a bank account, right? There's an ebb and a flow. Support and loving kindness flowing in, support and loving kindness making its way to you. What can you do, or how could you be, to get even better at letting that support and that loving kindness in? Oh, I don't like to impose, my patient said. Think back to the last time you did something kind for somebody. How did it make you feel? Warm? Joyful? Appreciated? Knowing that it feels that good, why would you choose to deny somebody the opportunity to feel that good when they did something kind for you? And, more importantly, you wholeheartedly let it in. When I tune into 2023, I can feel a softness in the air, an invitation, just like the ebb and flow of the waves on the shore. It has been hard. You've made it through. Now is the time to bring in more rest, more respite, and begin the process of being gentle with yourself. Sending you lots of love. Bye for now.
Hey, thanks for listening to today's podcast. Can I ask you a favour? If our conversation spoke to you today, could you please take a moment to leave a 5-star review? Your review will help people discover this podcast, and together we can create a world where there's even more love and more laughter. And if you want to hear more from the Project Joyful podcast, just click the subscribe button. Bye for now.